From a major human trafficking ring with ties to Middle Tennessee, severe weather warnings here in Clarksville, and a Tennessee plane linked to a rock legend involved in a deadly crash.
We will have all that and more on this episode of APSU TV News. Welcome back to your APSU TV News. I'm Baylor Betts.
And I'm Lisenby. It's happening right here in our community. Women and young girls lured with false promises, then forced into a nightmare of human trafficking. Federal prosecutors say an international trafficking ring has been operating in Tennessee, and now 9 people are facing federal charges. On Wednesday, 8 Venezuelan nationals, along with a Nashville woman, were indicted for allegedly running the operation. The U.S. Attorney's Office says investigators worked several years to gather evidence to make the arrest in Tennessee, Texas, and other states. Prosecutors say suspects recruited women from Central and South America with the promise of a better life. However, once here, the women were immediately told that they owed massive debts and that the only way to settle the debt was through commercial sex work. Officials say the suspected human traffickers used hotels in Nashville and social media apps like WhatsApp to attract buyers. They also allegedly had ties to the Venezuelan gang Tren de Aragua to frighten their victims into submission. Currently, all 9 suspects are held in federal custody awaiting trial. Dozens of victims are receiving support from local and state organizations. If you or someone you know is a victim of human trafficking, authorities ask you to call 1-888-373-7888. Many of us travel or live near rivers and creeks here in Clarksville, and the next few days could bring heavy flooding. The National Weather Service warns 4 to 6 inches of rain are expected over the next several days. The U.S. Army Corps of Engineers Nashville District says it's closely monitoring the storm. Upstream lakes have been lowered to absorb any runoff, but the Cheatham Dam does not have flood storage. The Corps says this raises concerns for flooding downstream, which could impact navigation by causing zone restrictions and closures for the weekend. So what should you expect? Clarksville Now reports that the rain will be heavy from now through Saturday. Roads, yards, and low-lying areas could flood, so stay alert.
We have new information in the deadly stabbing of a man in Greenbrier that led to a statewide manhunt and then arrest of his stepson. WKRN-TV reports police found 50-year-old Jeremy Dean Crabtree dead on his bedroom floor last week, wrapped in a tarp. Investigators reportedly found stab wounds to Crabtree's stomach, back, hands, and head. Officers assessed Crabtree's phone and reviewed surveillance footage of the house. The video showed the victim's stepson, 39-year-old Jimmy Anthony Cox, approaching Crabtree from behind and stabbing him several times. Cox was added to the Tennessee Bureau of Investigation's most wanted list following the attack. An alert neighbor spotted smoke coming from a cave in the Smiley Hollow Road area one day after the killing. Investigators said it was Cox smoking cigarettes in the cave. Police arrested Cox and filed several charges against him, including criminal homicide. He remains behind bars in the Robertson County Jail. One of the 2 planes involved in a deadly crash at Scottsdale's airport is registered to a business in Franklin, Tennessee, and owned by a singer of the rock band Motley Crue, which is Vince Neil. At least 1 person was killed and others were injured after 2 private jets collided at the airport Monday just before 3 in the afternoon. WKRN reports the pilot died. The co-pilot and other passengers were taken to a local hospital. Vince Neil was not on the plane. Vince's girlfriend and his friend suffered numerous injuries. The pilot was identified as 78-year-old Joey Viscozzi. The band said in a statement that their hearts go out to those affected. A way to support the family will be made public soon.
Think about the next time you're at the store reaching for eggs, only to find the price has skyrocketed, or worse, the shelves are empty. Egg prices have hit a record high, making a basic grocery staple harder to afford and in some cases harder to find. According to the U.S. Bureau of Labor Statistics, the average price for a dozen eggs in U.S. cities soared to $4.95 in January, surpassing the previous record. In some places, eggs can cost up to about $10, according to AP News. But what's the reason? A nationwide bird flu outbreak is the biggest cause. Over 150 million birds have been slaughtered since the outbreak emerged, wiping out millions of egg-laying hens. When farmers lose their flocks, it can take months to recover, leading to tighter supplies and higher prices. Some states only allow the sale from cage-free eggs from cage-free environments, making those eggs much more scarce. On top of that, high demands for eggs leave grocery stores struggling to keep their shelves filled, and inflation from production is making production much more expensive. Some stores have even limited the amount of cartons customers can buy. Unfortunately, those prices aren't dropping anytime soon. The U.S. Department of Agriculture expects another 20% increase later this year. So whether you're shopping for your family, running a restaurant, or just trying to stick to a budget, planning ahead, adjusting your list, or looking for alternatives may be the best way to navigate rising costs.
Metro Nashville Public School Board members all agree that more safety devices need to be installed in area high schools. The Tennessean reports this week the board unanimously approved installing a concealed weapon detection system in all district high schools in the upcoming months. A pilot of the system was installed at Antioch High School as students returned to campus just days after 16-year-old Jocelyn Escalante was shot and killed in the school cafeteria. The decision to expand the system came at the end of roughly 90 minutes of board discussion and questions, along with comments from members of the public during the board's regular meeting Tuesday. Metro Schools Director Adrian Battle says the system Evolve uses artificial intelligence and is more specialized than a traditional metal detector. Battle praised the smoothness of the system's rollout at Antioch High School, the district's largest school. She said Evolve adds to existing safety measures like secured entryway cameras, school resource officers, and other measures across the district. The board's approval expands the district's existing contract with system integrations. The initial cost is estimated at around $1.25 million each year.
When you look at the number of disasters in the U.S., chances are every area will deal with some kind of emergency in the next decade. And between school, sports, and social lives, chances are you won't be with your kids when it happens. Will they know what to do? Ready.gov/kids has the educational tools and information to make the conversation easy. When the time comes, chances are they'll feel prepared, not scared. So talk with your family today.
My Shiro doesn't always wear a cape, but she always has time for a hug, a smile, for going the extra mile. My Shiro stretches every dollar, puts in long hours, puts others first. But now it's your time, Mom. When you're ready to retire, we want you to be able to enjoy it. It's time to start saving now. A free 3-minute online chat can give you the personalized tips you need to start boosting your retirement savings today. Visit aceyourretirement.org/Shiro.
Put a frog in a pot of boiling water and it'll jump right out. But put a frog in a pot of cool water and slowly heat it up, and that frog will boil. As veterans, we can tell ourselves the lie that it's easier to stay in that boiling water, to disconnect. But you've never been interested in easy. You are not a frog.
Find resources at va.gov/reach.
Worried about your friend but don't know how to reach out?
You could say how are you or get a fake tattoo. You could ask with an app if it works for you. You could chat with them in VR. It's all good if you think you should check in. Yeah, you should. Whatever gets you talking.
Reach out to a friend about their mental health.
Whatever gets you talking.
Learn how you can help at seizetheawkward.org.
Hey everyone, I'm Jazmin Logan, and welcome back to the Political Corner. The first phase of the ceasefire deal between Israel and Hamas appears to be falling apart, as negotiations seem to be breaking down. Hamas has talked of plans to postpone an upcoming hostage release until further notice. Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu says Hamas's postponement would be a violation of the terms of the deal. He adds that if the hostages are not released as planned on Saturday, the ceasefire will end and the Israeli Defense Forces will return to intense fighting in Gaza. 251 hostages were taken by Hamas about a year and a half ago, and 73 of them are still being held. With their release now up in the air, Sherelle Hubbard has more on how the U.S. is reacting to the latest developments.
The ceasefire deal, secured during the final days of President Joe Biden's administration, has always been considered fragile, but it has been effective, securing the return of Palestinian prisoners in exchange for Israeli hostages. That's why families of hostages are urging Israel's government to stick to the agreement.
We hope and we believed that they will do the right thing.
President Donald Trump is urging Israel to give Hamas an ultimatum to release all the hostages at once, and threatening that if Hamas does not do so, to cancel the ceasefire deal altogether.
They either have them out by Saturday at 12 o'clock or all bets are off.
Since taking office, Trump has proposed that the U.S. take control of the Gaza Strip and redevelop it.
The U.S. will take over the Gaza Strip.
During a visit Tuesday with King Abdullah II of Jordan, Trump repeated his idea to relocate Palestinians and take over Gaza. He suggested previously that he could withhold aid from Jordan and Egypt if they don't accept displaced Palestinians as a part of his plan for U.S. ownership of Gaza, but said today he wouldn't, quote, threaten with money.
The point is how do we make this work in a way that is good for everybody?
During his visit, Abdullah said Jordan will take in 2,000 sick children from Gaza as quickly as possible. I'm Sherelle Hubbard reporting.
Hamas also said it remained committed to the Gaza ceasefire and hostage agreement, provided Israel was also committed. Arab leaders have rejected Trump's view that Palestinians should be moved out of the Gaza Strip to parcels in other countries. Immigrants here in the U.S. are terrified of deportation in the wake of President Trump's crackdown on immigration. Many, even those in the U.S. legally, are avoiding state programs meant to help them. Instead, they are participating in pop-up food pickup events. Eric Wilkinson shows us one such program in Washington State.
Who's next?
The line runs a dozen cars deep as hundreds of refugees and immigrants wait in a Linwood parking lot for food.
Thank you. Okay, bye.
The community stepped up in many ways in the last 3-4 weeks.
That was when Donald Trump took office and immediately began his clampdown on immigration across America, inspiring events like this food giveaway.
You want cans?
A lot of them has been done.
Van Kuno runs Refugee and Immigration Services Northwest. The organization helps immigrants assimilate into American society, teaching them the language, finding them jobs and housing, and putting their kids in school. Under the Trump administration, her agency is preparing for a 30% cut, a dozen workers gone, fewer people to help all those in need. Van believes the president's policies will have a snowball effect.
The homeless shelter will be impacted. The food bank will be impacted. The school district will be impacted. Because the kid now, the family doesn't have income, they have to get free and redo lunch.
Hello, everybody.
As organizers here give away grocery store gift cards, they say events like this are increasingly necessary because immigrants, even those here legally, are disenrolling from state programs for fear they or a loved one will be deported.
Who is the next?
They're not going to the grocery store or even to a doctor. Drive-thrus like this one are their new normal.
Pop-up events will be critical that are quickly organized. So that people feel safe doing a drive-through event where they're not stopping.
Hi, how's you?
Van, a refugee from Vietnam, says we must welcome these immigrants as she was 50 years ago.
That's what American and America are about.
In this event, organizers also gave away $100 grocery store gift cards donated by a local community health center. Inflation is on the rise again as the cost of groceries, gas, and housing keep on climbing. Struggling businesses and families are paying even higher prices due to the Consumer Price Index increasing by 0.6% since last September. President Donald Trump promised if elected, he would lower prices on, quote, day one, end quote. Many economists warn Trump's tariffs could lead to even higher costs for American consumers. Vice President of Operations Phil Hannon says his Illinois electronics store has received warnings from vendors about price increases due to tariffs. Now Hannon has to pass that cost on to customers to offset the impact on his company. Businesses are having to pay more for products, which means customers will also have to pay more for products. Trump has recently put 25% tariffs on steel and aluminum, which could impact the cost of appliances, cars, and even industrial machinery. Well, that's all I have for you guys today here in the Political Corner. Stay tuned for the weather after this short break.
Black truck. Hey, Christina from accounting.
Yeah, hi.
Hey, I used to date a girl named Christina.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and then she dumped me for my best friend. You want to see some photos of them that I took?
I don't.
I thought we talked about this, buddy.
Buzz and overshared again?
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm gonna call a car.
That's a smart idea.
So yeah, I know, that's why I did it.
Hey, you're gonna get back to the top of the mountain.
Does that mean I'm gonna get back with Christina?
No.
Oh.
No.
Before we celebrate the freedom most Americans have, we must fight for the freedom all Americans deserve. Because all lives can't matter until Black lives matter.
When it comes to making plans, you are the best. The same way you plan each detail for those moments, start planning to protect you and your loved ones from a natural disaster. Protecting your family is the best plan you can make.
Thanks for sticking us for the weather. I'm Michael Dangerfield. Looking at our current national temperatures, we don't have a lot of love from Mother Nature this Valentine's Day as we have a pretty chilly day. The highest is sitting at Los Angeles at a low 60. Going on the west side, we have Denver at 42. Our region, sitting at the southern eastern of Atlanta, sitting at 49. Chicago, 18. And then New York, sitting at a mid-30. Going today's highs and lows from Montgomery County, we have a lot of clouds today, 36 degrees. A little bit of wind chill, so I would just cuddle up against with my Valentine's instead of going out. A little bit of chance of rain, but I wouldn't count it out. And then going to tonight's lows, once again, we have cloudy skies, a little bit of wind chill, so might be a little bit of chills. 43 degrees, and then that 10% wind speed. And our 5-day forecast, we have a pretty good cold front coming in. Friday, we have 47, 43s for the highs. Saturday, we will have a little bit of rain, and it will be the hottest throughout the whole week at 58 and 39. And then Sunday through Tuesday, we start getting that cold front, as you see, 37 and 18. Mondays, 34 and 18. And then Tuesday, we will still have a little bit of clouds and 33 and 22 as the highs and the lows. That's all I have today for your local and national weather. APSU will be returning right after this break with our campus sports.
Yo, camping buddy. Okay, you guys ready?
Dude, I thought you were driving.
I thought you were driving.
Oh, I never said I was driving. I definitely can't drive.
Okay.
If you're high, just don't drive. It's illegal everywhere. If you feel different, you drive different.
Yeah! Sam, Elmo!
Oh, hey, Julia. Are you ready to play band with us? I'm gonna play my clarinet.
And Elmo's gonna play his drum. Drum loud.
Oh, well, you know what to do, Julia.
Julia knows.
With Julia's autism, loud sounds can be too much.
But she still loves to make music. Play band.
Early screening for autism can make a lifetime of difference. Find out more at screenforautism.org.
Attention governors, midterms are coming up. Did you know that you can use the APSU Writing Center for help?
The center offers one-on-one consultations to help students at any stage of the writing process, from brainstorming to revisions. It's a place away from distractions so you can clear your mind and focus on your paper. The center is on the first floor in the back of the library, past Starbucks. The writing center is by appointment only, so come on down and set one up today. And remember, and always, let's go P.
Hello, happy Valentine's Day. I'm Hugh Wheeler. Here's the latest in Clarksville sports. Austin Peay's men's basketball team is now 8th in the ASUN Conference after winning back-to-back games this week. Their record is now 6-7 in conference play. APSU defeated Central Arkansas last Saturday 90-67 and Florida Gulf Coast last night 73-60. 5 different governors scored 10 or more points last night. Austin Peay takes on Stetson here in Clarksville tomorrow at 4 in the afternoon. The Governor's women's basketball team is reeling from yet another loss. They dropped their 6th straight game on Wednesday 57-70 at West Georgia. Austin Peay had not lost 6 straight games since 2015. Freshman guard Anovia Shields leads the Governors in scoring with 22 off the bench. APSU travels to Central Arkansas tomorrow at 1 in the afternoon. Baseball season begins tonight for the Austin Peay Governors in Arizona at the MLB Desert Invitational, and the Govs have high hopes. The Governors hit the third most home runs in the NCAA last year with 146. The previous APSU school record was 84. The Atlantic Sun named senior outfielder John Bay preseason Conference Player of the Year. Austin Peay's season debut starts about 6:30 against New Mexico in Mesa. Governors softball won 3 and lost 2 last weekend in Macon at the Heart of Georgia Classic. Austin Peay launched 5 home runs in Georgia. The Govs hit just 18 home runs across 52 games last season. APSU begins the Whataburger Invitational today against South Dakota State at 1 in the afternoon in Stephenville, Texas. Govs Hockey Club lost 3-6 to Alabama Huntsville last Saturday at home. APSU had a 2-goal lead early before surrendering 6 of the game's final 7 goals. Austin Peay finishes the game with 2 games against Georgia Southern March 14th and 15th. Clarksville's Red River Spartans split 2 games with the Columbus Mavericks last weekend in Ohio. The Spartans conclude the regular season with the Fresh Coast Freeze in 3 home games starting today. Red River's postseason begins with a 3-game series at home against the Cincinnati Cyclones. Austin Peay men's tennis snapped their 11-match losing streak with 2 wins against Oakland City and Brescia in Evansville, Indiana. The Governors play again tomorrow at Chattanooga. Lady Govs tennis won their first match of the year, 4-3 against Western Kentucky in Bowling Green on Tuesday. The Governors play again today in Nashville against Belmont at 4 in the afternoon. Austin Peay men's golf defeated rival Murray State in match play 6-4 at the Battle of the Border in Hopkinsville, Kentucky last Saturday. The Governors return to action March 3rd in Daytona Beach, Florida. Austin Peay Beach Volleyball's 2025 season begins next Friday at the Grand Sands Tournament in Cincinnati, Ohio. Governors Track and Field competes today and tomorrow at the Music City Challenge in Nashville. That's all for sports. I'm Hugh Wheeler. We'll be back with more news after these messages.
Great having you.
Incredible women. I wish they had those kind of cool careers for women when we were growing up.
So in this flashback, we're all the same age?
Yeah.
What does everyone want to be when they grow up?
If I say 2 jobs, do I get extra credit?
No.
I want to make immersive video games. I want to revolutionize 3D printing. I want to analyze data from the cloud.
I want to be a meteor.
You mean meteorologist?
No.
That's great, Al. Follow your dreams.
For the record, I was a baby in the 70s.
Oh, man. I can't believe I'm missing this. Okay, Grandma. I see you.
Don't get stuck at home with the flu. A flu shot is the best way to prevent the flu and its potentially serious complications. It keeps you, your community, and loved ones protected. Don't get flu FOMO. Learn more at getmyflushot.org.
There are 16 million children struggling with hunger in America. That's 1 in 5 daughters, sons, neighbors, and classmates who don't know where their next meal is coming from. Yet billions of pounds of good food go to waste every year. It's time we do something about it. Feeding America is a nationwide network of food banks that helps provide meals to millions of kids and families in need. Visit feedingamerica.org to help them feed even more. Together, we can solve hunger. Together, we're feeding America.
Welcome back with some news to hopefully cheer you up or brighten your day. Tennessee family, your child's education options just got bigger. Governor Bill Lee has officially signed the Education Freedom Act, a school choice bill that allows public funds to help cover private school tuition. The $500 million program will provide about 20,000 students up to $7,000 each to attend private school. WSMV-TV reports Lee's goal was to give parents more options for their children despite financial and living circumstances. The bill was passed at a special legislation hearing after lawmakers approved measures to help fund public schools losing students. However, concerns were raised about taking away taxpayer dollars from public institutions. The bill, although heavily debated, is now law. The signing ceremony took place Wednesday afternoon at the Tennessee Capitol. The law could mean better opportunities for families considering private school. But questions still arise about the impact this law will have on public education in the long run. When temperatures drop, most of us turn on our heaters, grab an extra blanket, or settle in for a warm meal. But for those without a home, the cold can be life-threatening. In Clarksville, Warming Shelter did more than just provide a safe place to sleep. It helped 14 people get off the streets for good. The Clarksville Urban Ministries and Madison Street United Methodist Church opened their doors to over 200 unhoused individuals during the winter months. But the work didn't stop at the shelter. Some individuals found jobs or reunited with family, while others entered rehab or enrolled in school. Some of the guests were victims of job scams arriving in Clarksville on false promises. The warming shelter located at Madison Street, UMC, opens anytime the temperature drops below 32 degrees for 3 days in a row. Guests receive meals, shower, clean clothes, and case management for long-term care. As shelter closes for the season, Urban Ministries continue to provide long-term care, food boxes, and hygiene supplies.
Community members are hoping to heal hearts with a special snack campaign. They came together at Hamilton Church last weekend to assemble 2,000 snack packs for Antioch High School students after last month's deadly shooting in the school cafeteria. Labria Appleton is an advocacy coach for Metro National Schools. Appleton told WKRN TV that when people experience trauma, even something as simple as a snack can help them regulate their body. Appleton explains the tragedy that happened in the cafeteria, or even just being in that space, can be extremely stressful for the students. If you want to volunteer or donate, watch out for the next opportunity on Everyday Mama's social media. An East Nashville business was in the national spotlight in an ad that aired during Super Bowl 59. East Nashville business Delgado Guitars was featured in an advertisement for Google during the game. Business owner Manuel Delgado is a third-generation luthier, or someone who handcrafts musical instruments. Google spotlighted this business in its 50 States and 50 Stories advertisement campaign. Only one business was selected to participate. All right, well, happy Valentine's Day.
Happy Valentine's Day.
I cannot believe it's been another year since last year.
I know, this year went super quick. I'm sure we see a lot of people on campus, you know, dressed up in their red and pink.
Including us.
Including us. Thank you so much. I know.
Do you have any Valentine's Day plans?
No, I actually don't, but I'm thinking it might be a little bit of a self-care day for me.
Okay.
I thought about going to get chocolate-covered strawberries for me, or going out to a nice fancy restaurant.
Okay.
Dressed up.
I will say shout out to my aunt. I woke up this morning and she had flowers for me and a dozen chocolate-covered strawberries, which are my personal favorite.
Is so
I was like, oh my God, I feel so loved today.
That is so cute. And I also see like these little giant teddy bears that, you know, Walmart was selling for like $85.
Oh, wow.
Like very expensive.
They're getting expensive around here.
Very cute.
That's all the time we have for today. Make sure to show us some love on this Valentine's Day and follow us on Facebook at APSU TV Clarksville and Instagram at APSU_TV. Thank you for watching your APSU TV news update. We'll be back next time. And as always,
let's go Peay.